Guys, thank you so much for hopping on. I am so excited that you're here. Um, Pastor and Bonnie have asked me to just give a quick little teaching that can be practical for you right now as you are in the middle of this coronavirus situation. As parents, I understand, okay? I understand. You're stuck in the house. You're stuck with your kids. But let's try to look at it in a little bit different of a perspective, all right? What if it was not that you were stuck with your children, but now you have an opportunity like you never have before to be able to pour into your children? Guys, the reality is this, is that when your kids are in school, when you are at work, you have maybe if you're lucky about 5 hours in an evening to be able to pour into your kids. This coronavirus has afforded you a whole lot more time, a whole lot more opportunity to be able to build relationships with your children. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is not to be stuck on your phone, not to be stuck inside of your cellular device, not stuck inside of your social media, but actually take time to invest intentionally into your kids. All right? The crazy thing about it is this, is 90% of people in the middle of this coronavirus, they have taken the opportunity to connect deeper through social media. All right? It's crazy because statistically, they have seen the amount of Facebook usage, Instagram usage, Snapchat usage. It has just went through the ceiling as a result of the coronavirus. That being said, as Christians, we have an opportunity right now to pour into our students, okay, to pour into our children. For me, let me tell you a few things that I've done so far with my kids. We have taken this opportunity to be able to go into our backyard. We have a backyard that has a trampoline. We had a picnic on top of the trampoline, okay? We also let our kids draw using chalk on top of the trampoline. We actually did do a little bit of jumping on the trampoline as well. But the reality is this, is that we never would have done that had this coronavirus not been a thing. We actually looked at it. We said, hey, you know what? We've got extra time. Let's be intentional about investing into our kids. The Bible tells us that you are supposed to train up your child. What does it mean to train up your child? It means that you are literally supposed to teach them the ways of God. You are supposed to take time intentionally to be able to teach your children. And this coronavirus is creating an opportunity for us to be able to pour into our kids like we never have before. Guys, great idea. Picnic on trampoline. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. That is not me, by the way. That is the Rock Church. Whoever is operating the Facebook page right now. So thank you. Thank you for the comment. I do appreciate that. Something else that we've done. We have went out and we have taken our kids on walks. Okay? There are areas where you can take them where there is no traffic, where there is no kind of foot traffic. People will not be there. So there is a way for you to be able to take your kids on walks and invest in them. There's also an opportunity for you to be able to simply spend time with your kids right here inside of your own home. When the coronavirus first hit, Kendra and I decided we were going to be intentional and we were going to buy board games to be able to play with Israel, to play with our 3-year-old. That being said, Ezra is a little bit young, so he doesn't quite get the concept, but he does get to be able to sit there and think that he's participating with us. So what we did is we went out and we bought Chutes and Ladders, which is classic, right? And we bought Candyland, and we created Friday nights. We labeled Friday nights as game night, all right? So we have some popcorn that we pop. We play these board games, and we just spend time with our son. You see, the beauty about spending time with him is this, is first of all, it's going to create an opportunity for us to be able to speak into him later. And as parents, you need to understand the more time that you are intentional with your students, the more time you are going to be able to speak into their lives. You see, because what happens is all these people inside of their lives, they spend so much time with them, their parents, their teachers, their coaches, their friends at school. They have all this time that they get to spend investing into their friendships, But then when it comes to their familial relationships with their parents, they don't have as much time to be able to pour in. And so what happens is, since you do not have as much time with your student, you have less opportunity to be able to effectively reach out to them. Guys, it's a shame. Honestly, it's a shame. Not shame on you guys, but it's a shame in general that we do not have more opportunity to be able to invest into our children. It just is. So oftentimes we think to ourselves something of the nature that, wherever they need to learn about God, they'll learn it. Inside of a church environment, wherever they need to learn, they'll learn at school. And so what we have done is we have taken the opportunity to train up our child, what the Bible orders us to do, what it gives us clear directives on doing. And we have said, okay, we are going to create this and make it someone else's responsibility. We are not stepping up to the plate as parents, unfortunately. And it's easy. It's easy for me. So I'm preaching to the choir here. Don't think that I'm pointing fingers or saying anyone is missing the mark, because if anyone's missing the mark, it's me. All right? It's just as easy for me to be able to walk into my living room and watch television, okay, after work. It's just as easy for me as it is for anyone else, okay? So don't think that I'm judging anyone or I'm pointing fingers, because that's not reality. Something else that I want to encourage you with. First of all, take time to spend intentionally investing in your kids. But then secondly, I want you to see the fruit of that. You see, because the Bible says that you are also going to reap what you sow. If you sow time into your children, I guarantee you that respect, love, and a trust will be built that allows you to be able to speak into your children's lives. Whether they be teenagers, whether they be younger, whether they be grown people at this point. If you take time to invest inside of your children, I guarantee you that they will show you respect. They will begin to show you the love that you deserve as a parent. They will also begin to listen to you and apply what it is that you're telling them into their lives. You see, because here's the crazy thing about the post-millennial generation. They are more interested in their relationships with their friends than they are anything else. Let me create a perfect example for you. If something appears to be going wrong inside of an organizational setting, as long as their friends are there, these students will remain there. They do not care. But the moment that one of their friends decides it's not okay what's happening inside of this organization and they jump ship, they will be loyal to that person who is their friend. They have more loyalty towards that than towards organizations, than towards religious habits or religious beliefs. They have more loyalty to that than their families. It's crazy, but it's 100% true that this post-millennial generation is a generation that is very interested in building relationships and friendships with people. Social media has completely and totally captured this generation, okay? And you have to understand something. It's not entirely their fault, okay? And it's not our faults. But the reality is this, is that inside of society today, you are judged based on how many followers, how many friends, how many connections you have on social media. It's just the nature of it. It's the way that it works. And so society has told them, you want to be successful, you want to be viewed as popular, you want to be viewed in all these different ways that give you value. If you want to be valuable, then you make yourself someone who is known on social media. It's crazy, but it's 100% true, because that's what they begin to judge their value on. If you set them aside and you say, hey, look, no social media for tonight, we're going to spend time together as a family, I guarantee you, yes, you are going to get pushback. All right? I'm not crazy enough to think that you're not going to receive pushback. But what you are going to receive is an opportunity to be able to pour into your students, to pour into your children. Guys, we live in a day and age where if you do not do it, no one else will. Yes, the church will. They will pour into your students and encourage them to grow inside of their relationships with God. You have the school that is going to pour into them academically. You maybe even have some kind of coach that's going to pour into them in a physical nature. But the reality is this: until you step up and you begin to fulfill your role in training up your child, no one else is going to take it. No one else is going to take that responsibility and run with it like you can. You have been given an opportunity through this coronavirus to be able to pour into your kids and see them grow to new heights. I'm not sure if anyone else has any kind of ideas or thoughts on how to do this. But another thing that we've done is we have sat down and we have actively decided that if we are going to watch something, it is going to be kid-friendly. It's going to be something that we can discuss with our kids. And we are going to preview it beforehand and try to dig out some kind of a takeaway that our kids can have from this movie. Perfect example. We just watched Trolls 2, okay? And I know that that's a movie that just came out. But throughout that movie, there's something consistently spoken. And that's that the reality is it doesn't matter how different you are. Everyone brings value, okay? And it's very true inside of society today. It doesn't matter how different you are. You can still bring value to a situation. It doesn't matter how different someone appears or how different they might be or how it is that they prefer something that maybe you don't prefer. You have value, and that person has value. I've heard it said once that I can learn something from anyone, right? And a friend of mine actually explained to me, you know what, I can learn something from the weed dealer down the street. I can learn that I should not deal weed, right? The reality is that we have an opportunity to be able to learn from anyone or anything. And we have the opportunity to be able to teach our kids right now. You have such a cool opportunity right now, parents. Don't squander it. Don't waste it. As a matter of fact, I'm sure that you can hear our kids right now playing inside of their room. I actually wanted to go live and be able to have them here and be able to show you actually some of the cool things that we've been doing, but things worked a little bit differently tonight. I'm hoping to have Kendra bare minimum with me the next time that I go live on here. But guys, tonight is just about practicality, all right, and seeing this coronavirus for what it truly is. This is not the end of something. It is the beginning of something. Because as parents, right now, we have an opportunity to be able to step up into our role to begin to train up our children in the way that they should go so that when they grow old, they will not depart from it. Right now, we have this golden opportunity, guys, to be able to step up and make a difference inside of our children's lives, to be able to guide them, lead them, and direct them the way that Father God incorporated into our beings as parents. It's not an option, it's a command that we are to go and train up our children inside of the ways of God. He wants to see us do something great in training up these kids. When inside of leadership, you call this training up the next leader. It's training up your Joshua in a biblical sense. It's training up someone to be able to step up and pick up the reins where we leave off. You see, because it's true. Our kids are the next generation inside of the church, but they are also the generation now. You see, because if we inside of our generation are not pouring into our kids, if we are not teaching them how to worship when it's hard, if we are not training them how to push in even when life seems difficult, even when everything seems to be falling apart around us, teaching them that the reality is that God is still worthy of honor, glory, and praise. If we are not actively teaching our kids this, guys, then they are never going to learn. It's up to us to teach them how to do these things. So first of all, what are your takeaways for tonight? First of all, begin to train up your child by being intentional and investing inside of them. The reality is this, is that you will find yourself training yourself out of a job. What do I mean by that? If you train up these kids right, they are going to go and begin to do the work that God has called us to, and that is found inside of Matthew chapter 28 and verse 19. Therefore, go into all the world and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Guys, it is our job. We are the church. I know that we are not located inside of the Rock Church building at this time, but guys, it is our job. It is on every single one of us. Whether you're watching this video or not, if you call yourself a Christian, it is your job. It is your opportunity to be able to pour into people, to be able to encourage people to develop a personal relationship with Jesus, to be able to create disciples of Jesus Christ. That's our job. Yes, we have a sub-job of training up our children. But the beauty is that as you begin to train them up, they will go out and begin to make disciples. And what happens, a leader inside of your home, you are beginning to multiply your influence. And guys, that is a great feeling. That is absolutely incredible. It's incredible. The idea that you get to train up your kids to be able to be disciple makers. You guys have such a cool opportunity. I have such a cool opportunity right now. I can teach my 3-year-old how to go and make disciples for Jesus. And it all starts by building a foundational relationship with them, by choosing to actively and intentionally invest time in them. Not to get stuck with my face in my phone, not to get stuck doing this project and that project that had to wait until I had time, but to actively invest inside of them. So that's your first takeaway. First of all, we need to begin to train up our children in the way that they should go. But the second takeaway that I have is that you are going to begin to reap what you sow. As you begin to sow into these students of yours, as you begin to sow belief and trust and encouragement and just building relationship with them, as you begin to do this as parents, guys, you are going to see your influence grow, yes, for building the kingdom of God, but you're also going to begin to see your relationship develop with your children, which means all of a sudden you get to speak into their lives. It's not just their teachers, it's not just their coaches, it's just not their bosses, it's not just their friends. All of a sudden you begin to speak into their lives. You begin to be able to have an impact inside of their lives. That's awesome. That is cool. The second thing that you will begin to see is they will begin to trust you more. They'll begin to come to you and ask you questions about things that maybe they're experiencing inside of their world, inside of their friendship circles. They're going to begin to trust you and ask you questions, wanting to know how it is that you would deal with the situation. And no, this doesn't mean that you become your kid's best friend, okay? Far from it. You are still the parent. But guys, we can learn to do a little more listening, right? God blessed us with 2 ears, 1 mouth. Let me drop the mic on that one. Guys, since you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, the idea is that you should be able to listen twice as well as you speak. Just taking an opportunity to be able to listen to them, to be able to talk to them, just to be able to build a relationship with your kids so that you can begin to invest in them, so that you can begin to speak into their lives, so that they begin to trust you, so that they begin to show you the respect that you deserve as their parent. Guys, it all starts with the foundational building block of choosing to be intentional, saying, hey, you know what? You're worthy of my time. You are worth every second that I invest into you. Every second that I invest into your life. It's worth it. Guys, as we begin to do this as parents, you are going to see a dramatic shift inside of this time of the coronavirus. You're going to begin to see a dramatic shift in how it is that your students begin to respect and show you love and just desire a personal relationship with you. First of all, train up your child in the way they should go over the course of this coronavirus. Secondly, understand that you are going to reap what you sow. If you sow time and you sow respect and you sow relationship into your kids, guys, trust me, believe me, it will be worth it in the end. And guys, finally, what I have for you tonight, begin to listen to your kids. The reality is that they may simply be begging for some attention. I mean, it's crazy to think of that right now, right? But the reality is that they are completely isolated. Completely isolated away from their friends, their schools, their teachers, all these people who have an active part in investing into their lives. Guys, they have this separation. And what this separation is doing is it's creating an opportunity for you to be able to step in and for you to be able to invest in them. I hope that this encouraged you, that it grows your relationship with your students, that they begin to show you the love and respect that you deserve. Guys, I'm going to end just by giving you a few more ideas. So first of all, you can do a family game night. Secondly, you can just go on a walk with them. Just talk with them. I would almost wager that if you offer your kids an opportunity to be able to get out of the house in any form right now, they will probably jump on. But guys, take this opportunity. Go on a walk. Have a family game night where you sit down and you just play some board games. Make some popcorn. Do a movie night where you have viewed the movie and you guys just discuss the movie afterwards. Discuss some of the key takeaways. Another idea that I have, obviously this one was post-Easter, or pre-Easter, excuse me. But we even had Israel go and dye some Easter eggs, right? Just something fun for him to do. And the whole time you get to spend time talking with him, right? So he thinks, oh great, I get to spend some time with mom and dad and I get to color Easter eggs. Busted, right? Something else that you can do. Show an interest in something that they are interested in. Okay? So for example, Israel. He absolutely loves this little show that he is watching on Netflix right now. It's called Mini-Force. And it's just a bunch of little superheroes. They go around, they save the world. But long story short, he loves this, absolutely loves this TV show. So what I do is I will play Mini-Force with him. Okay? I'll be a superhero, he'll be a superhero, and we'll just go and we'll just act like we're fighting the bad guys, and we're spending time together, okay? It's taking something that he learned in the virtual world and bringing it to real life scenario where I can actually invest in him, where I can actually spend some time with him. Let him know, hey, you know what? Daddy cares about you. Daddy wants to spend some time with you. Guys, when you show them that you care and you want to invest time in them, that you care enough to be able to invest your time into your students, it's going to speak novels to them. Please be blessed. Guys, stay safe. Thank you so much for jumping on here, listening to my rant, to my rumble, if you will. But guys, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for jumping on here. I'm going to have another lesson for you guys next Monday. It'll probably be something a little bit different, maybe a little more biblical. I'm not exactly sure what route Kendra and I are going to do. We are going to formulate it together because I believe that she and I work together the best as a team. Possibly incorporate the kids also. If anyone would like to see the kids, go ahead, shoot me a heart, shoot me a like right now so that I can see it. If you would like to see the kids be involved in this, shoot me a heart, shoot me a like. I would love to see it. But guys, please stay safe. Continue doing what it is that the mayor has encouraged us to do. And hopefully we will see you very, very soon. Guys, thank you so much for logging in, for being a part of this teaching. We love you guys. We miss you. And we cannot wait to see you here in a couple of weeks, Lord willing. All right. God bless. Peace.